have some Beatley news, or at least a solo Beatle anyway, so I know I'm not the fastest on this one, but I intentionally waited because of what I knew we were getting today along with it. So Ringo's doing yet another EP. I know, I know, at this point he may as well just release them all as an album. It would make more sense instead of charging more per EP than he would for a whole ass album. I don't know. I don't understand other than I guess he likes the extra paydays he's getting out of it. But regardless, not here to criticize that. But it's called Rewind Forward, and it's going to come out on October 13th of this year, which, aw, would have been my grandma's birthday. But yeah, we got the title track and lead single out today, which is already on Spotify, probably also on YouTube, I would imagine. But yeah, so here's the thing that his website says about it. Today, Ringo Starr announced details for its fourth EP, Rewind Forward, available to pre-order today ahead of its release on October 13th, 2023 on digital, cassette, CD, and 10-inch vinyl. This title track will be available to stream or purchase everywhere this Friday, August 25th. The EP features 4 new songs: Shadows on the Wall, Feeling the Sunlight, Rewind Forward, and Miss Jean. And then there's a quote: Rewind Forward was something I set out of the blue. It's just one of those lines like a hard day's night. It just came to me, but it doesn't really make sense, Ringo said with a laugh about the title. I was trying to explain it to myself, and the best I can tell you about what it means is sometimes when you want to go forward, you have to go back first. Rewind Forward was written with his engineer and co-writer Bruce Sugar. We've been writing a song now for every EP, said Ringo. The other tracks find Starr collaborating with old and new friends, including longtime all-star Steve Lukather and his Toto bandmate Joe Williams, who wrote the opening track, Shadows on the Wall, Paul McCartney, who wrote Feeling the Sunlight, and for the final track, Miss Jean, Heartbreakers Benmont Tench and Mike Campbell, who penned the track and who also enlisted Ian Hunter, a former All-Star. In addition, the EP features contributions from Joe Walsh, Steve Dudas, Lance Morrison, as well as Matt Bissonette, Torrance Klein, Weston Wilson, Kip Lennon, and Marky Lennon. No relation, I'm sure. All songs were recorded at Ringo's home in Los Angeles, except for Feeling the Sunlight, which was largely recorded in the UK. All songs were recorded at Ringo's home studio in Los Angeles, except for Feeling the Sunlight, which was largely recorded in the UK. Why it says that twice, I don't know. And then it just goes on to talk about his current All-Star tour. So, that is the statement about it. I'll get you the pricing on all the different versions because it's kind of crazy, not gonna lie. Let me pull that up. Okay. Yeah, rewind forward. Oh, we have all the streaming versions here. That's not what I meant. Come on, you. Okay, so the vinyl version is $22.98. The cassette version is $11.98. And by the way, it gives total like 90s Nickelodeon vibes being orange like that. Kind of awesome. I've only ever seen like Nickelodeon use that color. So I was just like, wait, that's kind of cool. The CD version, which more accessible than the vinyl and smaller and should be cheaper to make, is $24.98. Yeah, I have no words either. I don't understand. I literally don't understand what the line of thinking was here. But I felt the need to have to include that part for you because it blows my mind so much that the pricing makes so little sense. Especially when it's not even a full album, it's an EP. It should be like a few bucks at most, but I digress. Anyway, so the title track itself dropped today, which is why I waited till today to make this instead of making 2 separate videos in the same week. Makes no sense. Honestly, the track's pretty mid, not gonna lie. The intro to it, though, was confusing because it sounds just like Hilary Duff's Wake Up. And I had to double check to make sure I was listening to the right song. Because I was like, wait, did I click the wrong thing? No, this is the right song. It just sounds exactly like Hilary Duff, and I don't know why. Okay, I mean, it's my favorite Hilary Duff song, so if there's one to sound like, I don't mind it sounding like that. But the song itself, it's pretty much more of the same of what we've been getting from Ringo for a while. It's like that same kind of like he seems to be sticking to a fairly monotonous kind of singing style in a lot of his recent tracks, and I don't know if that's because of age or if that is a stylistic choice that's being made on purpose or what's going on there, but at least there's no freaking auto tune this time, which is fabulous. Watch me eat my words later when the other songs come out and it's probably on at least one of them, but at least it's not on this one, so I can give credit where credit's due because I freaking hate that auto tune shit. um but the lyrics, again, they're more of the same. It's like the same positivity thing that he's always pushing, which is a good thing. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying it's kind of more of the same stuff we've already gotten, and hoping for bigger dreams of the future, strive big, basically. I mean, it's a nice message, but the song itself, I'm like, I put this thing on repeat for like 2 hours to really let it marinate in my head, try to get a good feel for it, see if it was going to grow on me, see if it was going to stick or anything. It didn't. What I mean, it's pleasant. I don't mind it. I don't hate it or anything, but it's one of those songs where I feel like this is the kind of thing you listen to passively in the car while driving, where you're not really thinking about it. Like, it's kind of nice to have on in the background. You kind of like nod your head to it a little bit, but you're not really actively thinking much about it. Like, there's a few lines here and there that like stick out and like, yeah, they're positive, they're good message, all right, yeah, good vibes, like it. And that's about it. That's about the takeaway. So I'm like, oh, all right. And if even after 2 hours, that is what has literally been the same reaction every single time I have played it. I thought eventually the words will really like marinate and stick, but they just never did on this one. It's still like I'll be listening to it and I'll make it about like the first verse before like my mind starts to drift. And I'm like, really? Really, self? Like, I know I'm ADD, but like, no, I think it's just the song itself because it happens around the same point every time through. And I'm just like, okay. So I pulled up the lyrics to look at them in front of me as I listened to it to see if it would make any difference. No. That's why I'm like, this one's kind of a passive listening track, in my opinion. It's not bad. Again, don't take me out of context here. I'm not saying I dislike it. I'm not saying it's bad, but I am saying that it's not his best. I am saying that it's kind of just like it feels like a throwaway track that like yeah he cranked it out so he could crank out another one of these, get another payday, but ultimately will it be that memorable of a track? No, no, nothing really stands out about it, and that's kind of depressing. Kind of miss the days of things like Vertical Man and Ringo Rama where stuff actually stood out and stuck. Where like 20 years later, 30 years later, I'm still thinking about those songs. Yet an EP from like 6 months ago from him, I couldn't tell you anything about any of those tracks without having to go back and re listen to them first. And that's been true of all the EPs he's done so far in this little series he's been doing of them. So I'm just like, oh, at least finding out Paul wrote one of the songs for this one. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that that one will be a standout since if anybody can write a good song, it's Paul. But yeah, I gotta admit, I'm learning to temper my expectations appropriately with the EPs. Really wish he would consider going back to albums, but I don't see it happening, especially with this being a fourth one. That is more than enough content for an album. So I don't see him walking this one back. Like, I thought if he was going to do it, he would have done it after the third. Then he didn't. So I'm like, okay, apparently we're not doing that. We're apparently just doing this. And I feel like I understand the reasoning. Doesn't mean I agree with it, but I understand it. It's just like, oh, okay, whatever. It is what it is. So yeah, that's my first impressions of it. We'll see if by the time the full EP comes out, if I'm feeling any differently about it then when I go back through and re-listen to it then along with the other tracks. But for right now, I'm like, it's pretty. That's mid. That's mid. So anyway, that's it for this one, guys. So as usual, you know what to do. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload, leave comments down below. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my eBay, my Reddits, everything and more. It's all down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Anyway, guys, until next time, see ya.